Hello everyone. Welcome back to my Semu Design Hub channel. Today I'm gonna show how to animate a sunset scene in Blender. So let's move to the tutorial. First I'm gonna delete this cube object. Then press Shift+A to add a new plane. Then press S and scale it up. I'm going to view the scene in this side. For that, press Ctrl, Shift and numpad 0 to bring the camera to our location. And I'm gonna scale it up furthermore. Press 7 to go to the top view. Press S and X to scale it up along the X-axis. Again press 0 to go to the camera view. And scale it up. And select the camera and press G to grab and press Z to bring it down along Z-axis. I need to scale it up pretty bit. And select the plane, then press G and X, then move it up forward. Now I'm going to add some mountains to my scene. For that I'm going to turn on Landscape add-on. For that, go to Edit, go to Preferences and search for Landscape. And turn on this Landscape add-on. Then press Shift with A and go to Mesh and select this landscape. Then go to this Properties tab. And under this Operator Present, select this Mountain 1. You can choose different types of mountains by changing this random seeds. I'm going to select this one for my scene. Press numpad 0 to go to the camera view, and select the mountain and hit S and scale it up. Press numpad 7 and G to grab, and I'm gonna bring it right here. And I need to scale it up a bit furthermore. And here I'm going to make this plane object as a river. So here I bring my mountain bit along Z-axis. Then I'm going to add some more mountains to my scene. Again go to Add menu and select Mountain 2 here. Here I type 17 as the random seed. Rotate it up around Z-axis. And bring it up here by pressing G. And then scale it up. Then bring it down a bit. Now it's great. Again here I'm gonna add another mountain. For that, here I use 18 as random seed. And I bring it up here. Move it bit along Y-axis. And press G with Z, then bring it down. Now let's place our sun. Select this light object. Press 7 and G to grab. And I'm going to bring it here. Press Z and bring it down along Z-axis. Bring it up along Y-axis as well. Then go to the Object Data Properties, and select this Sun option. Now you can rotate it at where you want the light to fall. Then press 1 and rotate it where the line path hit about the middle of the plane. Now I'm gonna add a terrain to our scene. For that, press Shift+A to go to Add menu. Go to Landscape here. And under the Operator Present, select this large terrain. I'm going to grab it down by pressing G and Z. Then I'm gonna hide this plane from here, or you can press H to hide. Select the terrain and press Tab to go to the Edit mode and press W to shift to the Brush Select mode. And increase the brush radius to 40 from here. So what I'm going to do here is draw the terrain on this side above the water plane. While hold down the Shift, select some areas around the corner here and press O to turn on the proportional editing option. Press G and Z to pull it up. And scroll the mouse wheel up to increase the proportional area which you want to affect. Then unhide the plane from here. So it's not the thing that I want. So press Ctrl Z to undo it. And scroll down and grab it along Z-axis. And pull down this area as well. Press 7. And move the terrain along X-axis bit. And select some faces on this corner and pull it down bit. And here I do some adjustments as well. So I think this is great. And make sure that you have saved your project. Here, go to the top view. I'll bring the sun behind all the objects, otherwise it won't be realistic. Because in real nature the sun is far away from us and the sun must be behind all objects to create correct and realistic lighting conditions in our scene as well. If you want, you can add some grass and trees to the ground as well. The grass and trees adding tutorials have mentioned in the description. Now let's move to the texturing part. Here I would like to mention that all the textures links that I'm gonna using have mentioned in the description, so you can download them. So first go to the shading workspace from here and press Z and switch to render mode. And go to the world properties and select this yellow color ball. And select this sky texture. So here there are a lot of things we can play around with. So first I'm going to uncheck this sun disk because we've already added the sun. Change the altitude to 2.1 so that means how high the object's in the sky. Then change air to 2.5, add some dust about 4.7, increase the ozone around 7.1. And set the strength to 0.03. Now it's like evening scene. And I'm gonna rotate this sunlight side around sun object. For that go to edit then preferences and search Node Wrangler add-on. And turn on it. Now in the shading workspace click here on the object and switch it to world. And select this sky texture and press Ctrl with T. So I need to rotate the environment texture around Z axis about 90 degrees. For that here, type -90. It's not perfectly placed and I reduce this minus value bit. And I'm going to rotate it around the Y axis a little bit until the sunset is aligned with the sun. And I think it's great. Now let's add some texture materials to our terrain. First select the terrain and here switch world to object. And click here to add a new material. Click on this principal BSDF. And press Ctrl Shift and T. I'm going to add this Rock 32 material. For that I've mentioned the downloaded link in the description. And add this normal GL, roughness and color maps. Go to the render properties and switch the render engine to cycles and also change the device to GPU. Under the mapping texture place the mouse point on the scale X, pull it down by holding left mouse button. And change the scale values to 5. I'm going to add the grass texture as well. For that click the principal shader and press Shift D to duplicate it. Then place it down here. Again press Ctrl Shift and T. By selecting it go to this grass 2 texture, add this normal GL, roughness and color maps as previous. And now I'm going to mix those shaders. For that press Shift A and search for Mix Shader. And place it between here. And connect this principal shader with Mix Shader. Press Shift with A and search Noise Texture. And here I make some space. Select the noise texture and press Ctrl and T. Connect this UV to vector and make the connection between Noise texture and Mix Shader through this FAC. Again press Shift A and search for Color Amp and place it here. Now you can mix those textures as you want. Go to Layout and go to World Properties and increase the strength to 1. Here you can see the textures aren't applying well. Let's fix it. Select this terrain and press Tab to go to Edit Mode and press A to select everything and go to this UV option. And click the Smart UV project and press OK. Now we can see it well. I'm going to add rock material rather than grass texture. And I scale up this texture material to 10. Now add this same texture for the mountain objects as well. And if you cannot see the textures well, add the Smart UV project as we did before. I'm going to reduce world strength to 0.1 from here. Now let's add water material. Select the plane and add new material. And I reduce roughness to 0 and I change this IOR value to 1.333. Also set transmission all the way up to 1. So now you can see super reflective water. Let's do some color adjustment to the sunlight. Select the sun and go to the Object Data Properties from here. Click this Color tab and change the color to look like slightly orange. And here I reduce strength to 3. Press Shift with A and go to Add menu, then type Noise Texture. Select it and press Ctrl with T. Now I'm going to change the scale value to 40 and detail to 15. Give it some roughness about 0.57. And here I'm giving distortion value as 0.4. Again go to Add menu and search Bump Node. And connect the FAC value to height in Bump Node. And connect those normals of Bump Node and Principal Node. And increase the base color to fully white. Now let's animate the sun. Go to Layout. Press Z and select Solid Mode. Press Shift with A. Go to Curve and select Circle. Scale it up bit. Then press R and Y, then type 9 and 0. Again press R and X, type 9 and 0. Scale it up until the circle meet the sun. So here we're gonna do is to move our sun along this circle as in the real world it comes from east to north. Press R and Z and rotate it clockwise bit as the circular path moves through the mountains. Select the sun. Press Alt with G to bring the sun to the origin. Go to Object Constraint Properties from here. And press this Add button and select this Follow Path. Select our circle from here as the target path. Now we can see that the sun has come over the circle. Turn on this Follow Path option. And click this Animate Path button. Click this Play button. So it moves along the circle. Now I'm gonna reduce the revolution speed of the sun. For that, select the Bezier circle curve from here and go to Object Data Properties by selecting this green color symbol. Click on this Path Animation drop down. I increase number of frames to 700. Here frames represent the number of frames required to complete one turn. So as we increase it, the speed of the object decreases. Press R and Y. Then rotate it here so that the sunset scene is captured by the camera. And again I rotate it bit along Z axis as well. Now press 0 to go to the camera view. Again press R and Y and I'm gonna move it down bit. Also I rotate around Z axis bit. Press 3 to go to the side view and rotate the sun as the light falls onto the mid of the water plane. Further I increase number of frames to 15,000. I'm gonna play it again. Now it moves down gradually and smoothly. And I think increasing the number of frames to 14,000 would be better. Press Z and go to the render mode. And here I'm gonna make the animation between 310 frames. So first move the point to this corner. And we can see that my cursor is now changed to a plus mark. While hold down the left mouse button, draw it to here. Go to the drop down here and select this shader editor. And here switch the shader type to world. Zoom in this background node. Now what we're going to do is reduce the world color strength as sun falls. So first set the strength to 0.1. And make sure that now you are in the frame 1. And place the cursor on this 0.1 value and press I key to add a keyframe. Then go to frame 132. Change the strength value to 0.09. And again press I key. Again go to frame about 223 and I change strength to 0.06 and press I key as well. Go to frame 278, change strength value to 0.01. And press I key. And finally go to the frame 310 and set the value to 0 and press I key. So we see that the color variation with the sunset is pretty good. Now I move to the object shader. And make sure that you have selected the sun. And click this Use Node option. I would like to mention that if you want to see your keyframes, you just need to go to the world shader and click this background node. And we can see that I've missed a keyframe here. To fix that, I go to frame 223 and type here 0.07, then press I key. Now it's okay. Go to frame 132 and switch to object shader. In this emission node, under the strength, press I to add a keyframe. Then go to frame 223. Set the value to 0.7 and press I key. At the 279, I set the strength to 0.01. And finally set the value to 0 and make a keyframe as well. Here I'm gonna make another keyframe. Here set the strength to 0.02. Let's make another keyframe and set the value to 0.001. Here we cannot see the sun clearly, for that now we gonna add a spherical object as our sun. First go to Add menu and select this UV sphere. Press Z and go to the solid mode. Right-click and select Shade Smooth here. Press S and scale down it bit. Go to Object Constraint property and add an object constraint. Click on this Follow Path relationship. Select the Bezier circle from here as the target path. Now the sphere has come over the circle and also it coincides with the light. Turn on this Follow Curve option. And click this Animate Path button. Click the Play button. And we can see that both the sun and the sphere are moving simultaneously. Now let's add some material to the sphere. Go to Material Properties from here. Select this plus mark and click on New. Change the base color as red mixed with orange. Press Z and go to Render mode. Here change the emission color as fully white. And select this color picker and click on Spot around the sun. Then increase the emission strength to 20. Now I'm going to animate the river. First I'm going to hide all the mountains as well as the terrain. Select the noise texture and press Ctrl Shift and left mouse button on it. Now we can preview our noise texture. Click on this icon and select Timeline here. Draw it wider to see the timeline. I'm going to change this Y value in the mapping node as well as the W value to make the flow animation. If you cannot see those options in the noise texture, just shift 3D to 4D. First make sure that you are in the first frame. Place the cursor on the those rotation value and press I key to add a keyframe. Again place the cursor on the W value and hit I key to add a keyframe for W value as well. Then go to the last frame in the timeline. Here I found that -60 is the suitable value for our scene and it is compatible with the moving speed of the sun. So type -60 as the Y value. And don't forget to press I key as well. Again change the W value as 0.6 and hit I key. We can see that now it is flowing perfectly. And finally select the principal node and Ctrl Shift and left mouse button on it. Now let's make some camera angles. Press Z and go to the solid mode. And make sure that you have turn on this auto key. Select the camera and press G. Now I'm going to move the camera, then go to frame 93. And double tap Z key so now you can move the camera forward and place it here. So now the camera is moving slowly. If you need to move the camera slower, furthermore, just move the keyframe to the right side. Then go to the frame 286. Likewise, I'll add some keyframes. Now I'm going to rotate this dark margin with the sun. So here we're going to change this Y value. For that, first go to the frame 1. And change the Y value so that the dark border is closer to the horizon. Here I set it to 4.1. And hit I key to add a keyframe. Now go to frame 59 and change the Y value to 4.3 and press I key. Go to frame 120. Select this mapping node to see our keyframes. Here I change the Y value to 4.8 and again press I key. Likewise I change the Y values accordingly with the sun. Now go to the render properties. Increase the render samples to 200. Go to the color management and set the look as medium contrast. Then go to output properties and here I make file format as JPEG. And increase the quality to 100. And here give the output path to put the rendered frames on your disk. Then press F12 or render the image from here. After rendering done, go to compositing here and click this Use Node option. While hold down the Shift press A to go to Add menu and search for Glare node and put it in here. Again search for Viewer node to see the composite image and connect it with Glare node. You can change the glare mode from here and I choose this Flow Glare option. And I reduce threshold value to 0.9. Now let's denoise the image. Go to the Viewer Layer Properties row here, click on this denoising data. Press Shift with A and go to Add menu, then search Denoise node. And put it in between Render Layer node and Glare node. And make the connections as noisy image to image, denoising normal to normal and denoising albedo to albedo. Now render the animation. Go to File, then add a new video editing file. Click on this Add menu and go to this image sequence and go to the folder where you created the frames. Press A to select all the frames and click on this Add image strip. We've got 310 frames, so our end frame is 310. We can add some natural music to our scene. Go to freesound.org and I've mentioned the link in the description. And I type River Sunset here, so we can have some nice natural musics. I'm going to download this River Sunset NL March. Go to the video editor again and got to Add menu, then select Sound here. Select the soundtrack you downloaded and replace it so that it starts at frame 1. I'm also speeding up the sound because our sunset scene is fast. Go time here and increase the speed factor from here. And I gradually lower the volume towards the end of the video. Select this audio strip and press K to split it into about 5 or 4 frames, and reduce the volume accordingly. Go to the output settings and make sure that the frame rate set to 24. And set the output path from here. Now render the animation. So this is the end of the tutorial. And if you enjoyed this tutorial and if you would like to help support my channel, you can subscribe it. Also, don't forget to leave a comment as a feedback, and you can mention the scenes that you would like to learn. Also, you can create and buy your own 3D model with animation through my Fiverr account, and please find the link in the description. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.